1860, something happened very important in the Parisian history. Sorry, I guess you heard it many times, but a guy called Mr. Haussmann was a lord, an architect, and a real estate businessman was charged by the French government, the French emperor, to destroy 60% of Paris. So all you're gonna see in Paris, except Latin Quarter, Marais, is built the Haussmannian style. That's what you have around you. Long, straight streets with all the buildings similar. So what you see here today is the Paris from the 1800s, okay? I'm gonna try to explain you how it used to look during the Middle Age. But it's very simple. Just wander on the square and look down your feet. All the lines of the former buildings are still existing. It's even more obvious when you're standing up the tower here. A few words about this building behind you. Do you know what it is?
Hospital.
Yep. This is a hospital. This is the oldest hospital of Paris.
Wow.
Before the destruction of the middle of the 1800s, the Haussmann destruction, this building used to cover this part of the square and being all along the river. The very first remainings are around the 400s, but it really started to be a real hospital at the 800s. Charlemagne, this guy, who's behind us. Okay, you have to understand, like from the moment Christianity started to spread in Europe, taking care of the penniless and the poor for free was one of the first priority. Nowadays, it's still a hospital. You can go inside for free. I would really advise you to do so because not even 10% of the hospital is still active. They are thinking about closing it. The access for ambulances is too hard, but really I would advise you to visit it. It's really impressive. Wow. So, let's talk now about Notre Dame. About figures. Would you guess maybe the size of it? What's the size of the tower? Let's tell me this. Just try to guess. Give me a guess for this tower. How many? 200? 200? No.
63 maybe?
Yeah, 70 meters at the tower. The choir, is that the choir? That's how you pronounce it, choir? C-H-O-I-R.
Choir.
Choir.
Yeah.
So the choir is 43 meters, and when you are in the cathedral, the vault is 33 meters. Okay? About large, it's 40, about long, it's 130 meters. Here are for the figures. Do you know how long did it take to be built? Approximately. This church.
50 years?
Nope. 200 years.
Oh.
The general figure that we all remember for building Notre Dame is 200 years. It started in 1163 and finished around 1345. So just to give you some image, this empty square during all the Middle Age and the Renaissance was covered with buildings. This is just a very well done reconstitution of how the square used to look during the Middle Age. All those buildings used to stop right here, this line, under your feet. You understand? Until here, it was full of buildings. You have to understand that you were walking through the streets and you couldn't see Notre Dame until you reached this line. Okay, so imagine that. How impressive it was to the people of the Middle Age. If you want to have a glimpse, up. Okay. It's okay. So, one thing, do you see here, that was painted, colored during the Middle Age and until through the Renaissance. All the front side was covered with paintings and gold leaves. Several reasons. First, to be beautiful, of course. Second, it's because don't forget that here is the west. It means that this is where the sun dies. So since it was covered with gold, at the end of the day, that was super shiny. Important Christian symbol. In addition to that, that way used to be to protect the stone, the limestone. When he was done during the renovation, he was so proud of his job that he said, no, I want to have my statue on Notre Dame. And of course, everybody told him, no way. You're no saints, no bishop, no Jesus relatives, I think. So you won't have it. So you say, okay, no problem. You see those statues here? There is 4 statues on each side.
Oh, yeah.
Like the biggest masterpiece of Gothic style. And I would like just to explain you what is Gothic style. Before what we call the Gothic style, the church was built following a style called the Roman style. So the Roman style, you have churches like this, for example, just if you go to the other side of the river. There is quite a late Roman style church. The Roman style is the quest for shadow, for silence, very big walls, very fresh air. The arcs, know, the big arcs in a Roman style church are round. The Gothic style made a very important innovation. The arcs are picked. That makes the weights, instead of going really on the side, going more down. And that's what is the Gothic style. It is acquired for height, acquired for light, and acquired for lightness in the construction. Okay? Problem is, when you build your church higher and higher and higher, you have to understand that the weight of the vault is not going down the pillars, it's going a bit on the side. And people building this church realized that the walls were moving this way and the church was about to collapse. This is why they built what we call the flying buttresses, the thing you see on the side. You understand what I'm saying? The flying buttresses are meant to sustain the wall, to sustain the weight of the vault. If you go to bigger Gothic style churches in France, you're gonna see that many times they even need a flying buttress to sustain the flying buttress. Sometimes there is even 3 if you go to Strasbourg, for example. What is very interesting is that we always thought that those flying buttresses were built at the end of the construction site of Notre Dame. We always thought that they were built at the end of the 1200s. We know now that this is wrong, this is fake. From the very beginning, they built some flying buttresses. It means that the flying buttresses you see here are the very first of history, with the one in Caen and the one in Sens, in the north of France. You are really attending here to an R&D lab. People were trying things on this church. You understand what I'm saying? You know?
Soyez les bienvenus dans cette cathédrale, Notre Dame de Paris, en ce 31e dimanche du temps ordinaire. Jubilatif. Oui, nous sommes dans la joie.